Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank all of the witnesses here for your attention to this very serious issue. And I think at the outset it's important that America just cannot go backwards on this. This is a very costly, severe problem for families and all of us. And to watch what is happening with proposals from the GOP on health care really would take us backwards, whether that's ripping coverage away that's been provided under the Affordable Care Act, under healthcare.gov, or the very serious assault on Medicaid, the most serious retrenchment of Medicaid in its 50-year history, would be just disastrous for our ability to support families and address this crisis. In fact, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to submit for the record a consensus statement from the National Association of Medicaid Directors on the Senate version of the GOP health bill. It states in part, Medicaid is a successful, efficient, and cost-effective federal-state partnership. It has a record of innovation and improvement of outcomes for the nation's most vulnerable citizens, including comprehensive and effective treatment for individuals struggling with opioid dependency. No amount of administrative or regulatory flexibility can compensate for the federal spending reductions that would occur as a result of the bill. Medicaid, or other forms of comprehensive, accessible, and affordable health coverage in coordination with public health and law enforcement entities, is the most comprehensive and effective way to address the opioid epidemic in this country. Earmarking funding for grants for exclusive purpose for treating addiction in the absence of preventative medical and behavioral health coverage is likely to be ineffective in solving the problem. So I'll ask unanimous consent that that be admitted for the record, Mr. Chairman.
We're reviewing. We'll go back to you before you're done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because this is very important. Now, this committee, to its credit, spearheaded the 21st Century Cures initiative that did provide substantial funds to our states, and I've heard from local experts back home in Florida. I held a number of roundtables with law enforcement, treatment professionals, anesthesiologists, ER docs, the panoply, and they say the key is long-term coverage to treat this as the chronic disease that it is. And that's why when you rip away coverage and instead say in its place we're going to have another fund, an opioid fund, where maybe you provide a few dollars to an ER, that's not going to provide that long-term coverage that we need to treat this chronic disease. So I just had to get that off my chest here right off the bat.